Hi, welcome back to my studio vlog. I'm Casey and I'm the artist behind Narwhal Carousel Co. And I thought I would start out this week's vlog with a quick post office outfit of the day because I'm about to head out. Monday is always my shipping day. And today I have on my Follow the Leader goose shirt that I made, or sweatshirt I guess. And I couldn't get it in my size, so I had to go a size up, but I'm just wearing that with simple black bike shorts, pink shoes, super cute. And for my orders, I have my banana bagu, one of my favorites. So let's head out. All right, back from the post office, and as always, glad that that part is over. I love my job. I loved running Narwhal Carousel Co. However, I have pretty bad driving anxiety, and so dropping orders off at the post office is kind of like one of my least favorite things of the job. But I moved a couple of months ago, and so my drive to the post office has kind of gotten easier because my city that I live in is built on a big river, and I used to be on the opposite side of the river from the post office, and now I'm on the same side of the river as the post office. So even though my drive is longer, I no longer have to cross the river to get to the post office. And what that basically means is that I don't have to go on the highway to get to the post office, when in the past I used to get on two highways to just get to the post office that was like 2 miles from my house. It was between the layers of interchanges. So look at this dog. It was 2 freeway interchanges away from me, and so now I can just drive to the post office on surface streets, and I'm getting used to the surface streets because highways are what give me the most driving anxiety. So like dropping orders off is getting a little easier. However, it's still like one of the more nerve-wracking parts of my job to do so. Look at this wiggle worm. She's excited I'm back, I guess. Yeah, are you a good girl? And then I wanted to show you all the collection I'm working on right now, and that I've been working on for, I don't know, probably close to 6 weeks now, but painting for the last 2. And the theme of this collection is that they're animals from each continent. So they aren't sorted right now because they're sorted by what people color I've been painting on them this morning. But so far I've been working on Africa, which the majority of these animals are African animals. And then Asia and South America are the 3 continents I started with. And then you can see I've started in on like just a couple of Australian animals, the platypus and the koala. Basically, the reason I decided to do this collection is because the majority of the collections I make are very like cottagecore and very like pastel colors, things like that. But I've been getting requests for animals that just don't fit into those themes. So like for instance, I've been getting requests for a giraffe, but like giraffe and cottagecore kind of don't fit together. Or I've been getting requests for different big cats, but like, again, tiger, not very cottagecore. But some of these animals that I've had requested, koala bear, again, not cottagecore. I do a lot of animals that like live in North America because that's where I live. So I figured the best way to fit all these sort of unique requests into a collection would just be to focus on animals from each continent. So little, again, poison dart frog, who hasn't been painted yet but will get painted. Doesn't really fit into my normal themes, but I thought let's do specific themes so I can make animals from every single continent. And so it's a huge batch and it's been a huge undertaking. And part of me is like, why did I do it like this? Because it has a lot of animals that not only were pretty difficult to sculpt and not my usual, and in fact, sometimes animals that I've never even made before. Like I've made zebras before, but they are such a complicated sculpt. So I'm doing like tons of sculpting, tons of painting. And so it's been like a very labor intensive process. However, I am getting to make a lot of animals that I don't usually make. And then I'm hoping to get to some of the other continents eventually as well. I just wasn't able to do them all at once because I wasn't going to have them ready in time. Like I'd run out of social media content and things to sell if I didn't break them up into groups. But again, I've started with Asia, South America, and Africa. So I also want to do North America, Australia, Europe. And I think it would also be cool to do a collection specifically for Madagascar, because there are so many cool animals that only live there. And then potentially like an Oceania where I did ocean animals. I've already done Antarctica and I've already done the Arctic because I did them last winter. So that was kind of like one of my test runs for this collection, and people really liked the Arctic and Antarctic collection. So I've decided to do the other continents as well. But I think just for the rest of the day, I will be continuing to paint eyes onto these 3 continents worth because there are a lot of critters that need some eyeballs. And I just wanted to add that this collection, doing the research for it, has opened my eyes so much to which animals live in which continents and where different animals came from. Just a lot of times I didn't think about it. So for example, I didn't realize that chinchillas were originally from South America. That's where the species came from. I didn't realize that there were types of rhinos that lived in Asia and then different types that lived in Africa. So this type of rhino is from Asia, but then there's also different varieties. This one's from Africa. So it's been really cool to learn more about animals since literally my whole job is making animal art. And part of me, I feel kind of silly. I feel kind of dumb because I just didn't know where all these animals came from and hadn't learned. However, I'm so grateful that making this collection has given me a lot more knowledge about different types of animals. So like first ever capybara, so glad that I now know that they are from South America. Happy Wednesday. I didn't film it all yesterday because literally all I did was paint this collection all day. And then today it's like probably 3 p.m. and I finished painting every part of the collection except for the little eye shines, which as y'all know, that is the thing I procrastinate on. But let me show you what they look like so far because I'm actually pretty happy with them. All right, y'all, here is how the collection is looking. Like I said, none of them have their little white eye shines on so far because that is like my most nerve-wracking part of the process. So last night, after I did most of the painting, I finished this toucan, and I do think I really like how her beak came out. That's how they look in real life. They are so bright and pretty. And then this nearly killed me. Oh my gosh, well, that's an exaggeration. But finishing up these frogs was so difficult. They are so out of the normal color scheme I work on, and for whatever reason, I decided they needed black pupils, which is like low-key a hard color to work with for tiny details, but I am happy with them. This one, oh man, doing the white paint over the green was like, did not go as well as I would have liked, but I'm hoping with a coat of sealant it will make her at least a little better, but you know, you win some, you lose some. Then this one, oh my gosh, I thought I was gonna have to scrap this one entirely because doing the cheeks and the highlighter over the black, I had to redo it multiple times, but I got her dealt with, and like I feel like the camera isn't quite doing her justice. She's very like translucent with the black painted matte over her, and I do really like how she came out after all her trials and tribulations. And then finally the blue one. This one was the only one that didn't have 1,000 issues as I painted her, but that's okay. Well, the orange and blue one was fine. She had a few issues, but like not as many. But yeah, they're all based on real types of frogs, obviously getting their stripes and patterns to match the proportions of cartoon animals was difficult, but it worked, you know. So I'm happy to be done with them. And then here are all the paints I used, literally like just this morning. So many colors. But these guys are ready for their eye shine, so I'm excited about that. Shines are now painted on. That was a lot of detail work, but here they all are. So for most of my drops, what I have is 7 animals usually. because that's how many days I have in a week to post a new animal, and I try to post a new animal every day. So I tentatively divided these animals up into like what each week of content could look like. So I have 2 weeks of the African animals all lined up, and I tried to make it so there's like a giraffe each week, a zebra each week, an elephant, and then like dividing up the animals that there's only one of each. For example, the leopard would be 1 week and the cheetah would be the other. And then I have the 2 weeks for South America, and again, I tried to mix it up so there was like a really good mix every single week. So like not all 4 frogs for the same week, for example. So there's a first week and a second week for that theme. And then I have 8 animals for Asia, and there's like just going to be slightly more animals that are the same that week, but that's okay. I tried to choose like favorite animals from that continent. I kind of wanted that to be 2 weeks, but I kind of ran out of building time. And then I have some oddball Australia animals that I haven't made the rest of them yet, so these will just wait for a while until I finish up the rest of them, so I'll have 5 more for that theme. Yeah, they are looking pretty good. And then this isn't super art related, but I always love when people share their renovation updates. So I want to show you where our renovation is at, and like I want to remember how the process goes. So let me show you that. So right now, the hallway to my office has low-key become a dumping ground for renovation supplies. And we are removing these very gross carpets. You can tell we've already done that all downstairs, a few random dog toys, and you can tell we've already painted our trim. We're painting the walls next. But we pulled our kitchen table out to the middle of our living room so we could look through the window while we ate, even though it can't be there when we actually like redo the floors and stuff. But right now, when we got our house, it had this weird brown trim and beige walls, and we've decided to go through the entire home and paint all the trim and doors white, and then paint the walls a cream color. So I do think it's gonna make the house brighter and happier. And then the floors, we had to replace all of our floors. Replacing all the floors was like the priority because they had a lot of dog pee and cat vomit on them. So we are kind of turned off to carpet forever now, unfortunately, and we're replacing them with like a very light wood laminate. We were supposed to cover this floor last weekend. However, our flooring delivery did not come in time, so now we have to do it later. We have some downstairs already though, and that actually looks good, but we're down to the subfloors as much as possible. My office wasn't as bad, however, it was still kind of bad, so we're ripping them all out, and man, am I happy we're ripping them out after seeing what they looked like underneath. My partner steam cleaned every inch of the house twice, and they were still just like disgusting when we pulled them out. So we have been wearing shoes inside the house against my will because of our gross carpets, and I'm so glad to be just getting rid of them because they were nasty. So we're putting in nice luxury vinyl plank. I know some people hate luxury vinyl plank. We looked at hardwood, and honestly, like, LVP just suits our lifestyle better. We have a dog that runs in and out of the house. We live in Oregon where it's wet. We want to be able to have the dog run from the front door to the back door to the backyard and back in without causing a mess, and so that's what we're going with, and hopefully we will start laying the floors soon. This is kind of our flex room slash my partner's office because we both sort of work from home, and we're gonna move our bedroom in here once we finish this room and then redo our bedroom. Then once the bedroom's redone, we'll move my office into that bedroom and redo my office and then move it back. So like we're playing musical chairs because we need to live in the house and renovate it at the same time since we're doing 100% of the work ourselves, which ultimately like has been good. However, it has been train wrecking my nails all the time. That's my top downside to renovating your own home. Now already coming back into my office, it's crazy how much like darker it looks in here on the camera versus the room we've already painted like the bright creamy white. So I'm really excited for us to do this room. I'm so glad my partner convinced me into painting every single wall in the house white. Like it's what I wanted and he knew it, and he was like, we should just do it while we have the floors out, and it's a lot of work, but I'm so glad he convinced me into it. I cannot wait for my studio to be white and have that reflection rather than being beige. I'm gonna end this week's studio vlog here. Thanks so much for joining me for a few days in the studio, and I'll see you next time.